the tenets or characteristics of approaches and methods in English language teaching. We have got the history of English language teaching in Bangladesh as well as all over the world. And apart from those, we have learned go-to-market, GTM, and you have written answers on GTM in your first semester examinations. So your learning of GTM has been concrete because you have learned it and you have applied it by the written examinations. Okay. Many of you have answered GTM. A few of you have answered the first question. GTM, the grammar translation method, the title suggests that translation will be the basic tenets or the characteristics of this method, and also the vocabulary learning and some other things. Vocabulary for what? Vocabulary of the target language, and the what meaning will be done in mother language. We are Bangladeshi language speakers, so in case of GTM, we will be translating target language, that means English, in Bangla, and also we will be translating Bangla into English. This is the process of learning language. They said, actually, the proponent of grammar translation method, they said that actually our cognitive level, that means the level of understanding, will be reached when I will understand the language, understand something in my own language. Okay? কোনো কথা যদি আমরা বাংলায় শুনি তাহলে আমাদের বোঝাটা ভালো হয়. That was said in grammar translation method. But this method was challenged by this question. Our French linguist Francois Guin, not going. He said that this way, that means grammar translation method, this method of language teaching should be reformed. In which batches, that is the way grammar translation method applies, that method is not appropriate. And what is the method? He said another person, he is also a French philosopher, Montaigne, and he has written many essays, and a bulk number of essays he has written. He also told about the reform of grammar translation method. Okay. What would be the alternative methods they had been proposing? And this philosopher, apart from this philosopher, we have seen another proponent of English language teaching. He is an American linguist, Lambert Suhey. He said that we should learn language the natural way. So what does it mean? It means that grammar translation method is not a natural way. It means that in case of grammar translation method, we make translation. We understand the meaning of a word, translating it in our target language. Okay. So this process should not be natural. That means we should learn language in the natural way. And according to them, according to Suhey, according to Montaigne, according to Guin, they proposed natural method of English language teaching. What is that? Their portion is that the understanding of a language would be quite fantastic and would be quite okay if we done it in the target language itself. Okay, so we will learn language directly. First thing is that no translation will be allowed in English language translations. Okay, so they thought that actually we have to think the target language not in our mother language but in the target language what we are learning. It means that we are learning English language. In no way we will be applying Bangla language in the learning platform, not by the teachers, not by the student. Directly the language should be taught in the classroom and outside the classroom. And this way of learning language is effective according to these linguists that we have learned, that is Sauvé, Montaigne and F. Guin. Francois Guin is called F. Guin, and that is called direct method. It has several other names. Other than names, natural method, phonetical method, anti-grammatical method, and reform method. Early today, I asked some students to call the seer to fix the projector. Okay, so he heard that I said chairs. Okay. So there is a difference between seer and cheer. Okay. In direct method, pronunciation will be quite similar to the pronunciation of the target language. What would be seer? What would be cheer? What would be cheerful? Like that. And for this reason, its method is also called phonetical method. That means your pronunciation would be perfect like the target language speakers, just like the target speakers. And for this reason, it has said. Okay, so we have said that is, I am able to speak more in the target language, and some say that yes, me also. Come and try. 90% speaking. So direct method will be a method. It is called direct because meaning should be connected directly with the target language. Whatever will be done in the language classroom, everything will be done directly in the target language, not in the combination of mother language and target language. Okay, so whatever may be the situation, in grammar translation method, we see that the teachers are allowed to speak in Bangla language. And what is their logic? Logic is that cognition or understanding will be good if you deliver my lecture in Bangla language. And direct method is quite opposite to the GTM. They said that meaning should be apprehended in the target language. And for this reason, it is called direct method without translation into the native language. Okay. And if we go to the history and the origin of this direct method, that means that method was established in 1900 year, that is established in Germany and France. As we have said, that is the German scholars. And it is a reaction to the direct method. In the first half of 19th century, French linguist Francois Guin attempted to build language learning methodology observing the child language learning, from which perspective F. Guin suggested that we should learn language in the natural way. He suggested that F. Guin had been discussing about, had been observing the child language learning, the way the child learns. Okay. That means, does a child learn grammar?
No.
Does a child translate language in other language?
No.
How does a child use correct language? যে কোনো ভাষার ছেলে হোক বা মেয়ে হোক, সন্তান হোক, সে কি প্রথমে গ্রামার শেখে, কোনটা নাউন, কোনটা ভার্ব, এটা কি শেখে? Observing that, if it is not so, that grammar translation method, grammar is important, grammar of the target language. If we observe the child language learning and found that in case of child language natural learning, they don't learn grammar. So why it is necessary to understand the grammar of the target language according to F. Green? He said that no, grammar is not necessary. That means grammar will be there, but language learning and teaching should be spontaneous and should be natural as the children. Okay? Observing child language learning, F. Green suggested that proposal. And that is why most of the referred to advocate natural method, and for this reason this method, direct method, is called natural method, because the foundation, the basis of grammar translation method, direct method is, that is, child language learning process. And this man, Montaigne, he has written many essays, and a quite similar incident happened to Montaigne's life, that his father wanted him to speak Latin well. Montaigne described some stories about a second language learner and about his story, how he learned language. And he said that actually in grammar translation method, you have to use the correct grammar. So correct grammatical rules should be learned, and you have to memorize it, and you have to use this. So Montaigne described that situation, that when I was learning Latin, I was supposed to learn every grammatical method to the correct point, and there is no deviation of the correctness. Okay, and that situation creates stress in the minds of the learners. Okay, that means correct should be there, especially for the grammatical rules. That means grammatical rules is necessary, but in GTM that is very, very necessary that you have to know the correct grammatical rules, because grammatical rules will be applied in case of writing and reading somewhere. Okay, so that is the chief target of GTM, that you will be efficient in writing and reading. Okay, here in direct method 90% will be the speaking focus, and one of the chief criticisms of GTM, that in GTM there is no involvement of the learners, no speaking participants, no speaking, no contact between, not much interaction between teachers and students. And for this reason, in one hand they want correct grammatical rules, GTM learners, and at the same time they have less opportunity of speaking skill of the target language. Both notions Montaigne also described, that he also learned Latin with the rigorous process of learning correct grammar of Latin language. They want correct things. But in direct methods there is no. Subhe, he also believed this, actually the strict grammatical rules. And okay, anything cannot be, you can't make anything totally quite okay and 100% okay, especially for the GTM or the language learning phenomenon. আমরা ভাষা শিখছি তাই বলে আমরা এটা গ্যারান্টি দিতে পারি না যে দেন অ্যান্ড দেয়ার আমি সমস্ত রোল ভালো করে শিখব। GTM সেটাকেই এক্সারসাইজ করে। Subhe also placed that yes, this natural method of learning language should be applied, and for this reason foreign language could be taught without translation. Okay, without translation, no translation will be there, and as well as without the use of learners' native language. So no translation and no native language. Many of you may say that yes, sir, Banglai boli. Direct method, no. Okay, no translation will be there, and no usage of native languages in direct method. Meaning of the target language should be conveyed directly through the demonstration and action. There are two kinds of dictionary available in the market. One, English to Bengali, 80-day Bangla Academy Dictionary, and another dictionary is Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary. So in Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, we see the meaning of every word is written in the English. So that is called English to English Dictionary. But in ATDF and Bangla Academy Dictionary, you see English to Bengali. So Bangla Academy Dictionary and ATDF Dictionary can be followed the GTM, but Oxford Dictionary, that can be called, that can be applied in case of direct method, and also then how will be the activities, how the meaning will be clear over there. Okay, so teacher will be understanding, will make the class understand a thing by demonstration and also by action. In the previous class, we observed a video, yeah? There he said that whenever you will going to cook, then you have to cook it with demonstration. Then whenever you will be going to fry an egg, then egg will be there and the blender machine will be there. With that activities, you will engage the learners, and the learners will see such kind of activities, and they will learn how to fry an egg. Okay, that is engage. So English meaning will be targeted, English language will be taught in target language, and also the teacher will show some demonstration. That means the actual action or demonstration, like mimes, you know, mukha vinay. Okay, so if I say hello, then I will wave my hand. So you will also wave your hand, and not with your oral utterance, but with the waving of your hand. You will say hello, and such thing will also be done in other method, but in GTM also, that is the first method. After direct GTM, their engagement will be there, and that engagement can be done in several ways. That means showing some activities and also showing some pictures. Okay, pictures of the thing. That means the pictures. Previous class we have seen, and we have watched a video. There we have seen the watermelon, yeah, jackfruit. Okay, jackfruit is very big. Okay, the pictures will be delivered, and also by the action. Okay, so if we want to express the meaning of gymnastics, then so what is gymnastics? Gymnastics মানে কি? হ্যাঁ, physical activities. Gymnastics bharottolon বা physical exercise. So if the teacher is supposed to make the class understand the gymnastics, the teacher will show how to gymnast or how to do gymnastics. Okay, if it is physical exercise, then the teacher had to perform that physical activities in the class. So engage the class. There are some other techniques that is called mnemonics. Mnemonics, you know, mnemonics means associated word. Okay, that means angry. Okay, if you want to make the class understand the word angry, then you have to make your face just like you are angry. Okay, so the word angry, when you will see the angry face of your teacher, then that word will be understood very quickly. Okay, smiling face is quite similar. হাসি বোঝানো সহজ, কিন্তু রাগ বোঝানো কঠিন। এই জন্য নিমোনিক্সে কিছু কিছু জায়গায় কিন্তু ভিডিও ক্লিপ দিয়ে বোঝানো হয়। ওকে, ভিডিও ক্লিপ, কোনো একটা ভিডিও ক্লিপে দেখা যাচ্ছে যে অ্যাক্টর খুব রাগান্বিত, তখন সেই ভিডিও ক্লিপটা সেখানে দেখানো হয়, দেখে কোন ওয়ার্ডটা বোঝানো হয়? অ্যাঙ্গার, যে অ্যাংরি, হি ইজ অ্যাংরি, হি ইজ হ্যাপি। সো ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ লার্নিং will be done directly in the target language, and the teacher will make the class engaged in that activities through demonstration, through mime, through physical activities, and through action. And it is the benefits and also it is the criticism of these methods. What is the benefits? That means benefit is that understanding. When you see a thing, suppose if you see the picture of pineapple, okay, then the word pineapple will be clear to you. যদি পাইনাপলের ছবি আপনারা দেখেন তাহলে পাইনাপলের হলো অর্থ এই ওয়ার্ডটা তাড়াতাড়ি আমরা শিখে যাব, ডিরেক্ট মেথডে বলছি। ওকে, পাশাপাশি if we make the difference between elephant and cow, okay, the two words cow and elephant. Cow is an animal, and elephant is also an animal. It is a four-footed animal. It is also a four-footed animal. But what is the difference? If we make, যদি আমি বলি যে হচ্ছে গরুর চার পা আছে এবং হাতিরও চার পা আছে, এবং পাশাপাশি হাতির হচ্ছে একটা কি আছে, শুঁড় আছে, আমরা বুঝে গেলাম। কিন্তু যদি এটা আমি ইংরেজিতে আমাকে এক্সপ্লেন করা লাগতো, it will take much time how I will make difference between an elephant and a cow. So that is, sometimes teaching language directly in the target language is quite beneficial, and sometimes it would be quite complex to make the class understand what the teacher actually wants to do or want to express the meaning. Okay, and the direct method in teaching a language directly establishing an immediate and audio-visual association. Audio-visual, you will have audio and the sound will be there. And here we see another German scholar, F. Frank. He comes up with several techniques of direct method. That means F. Frank wrote on the psychological principles of direct association between forms and meaning in the target language, and proved a theoretical justification for a monolingual approach to language teaching. Monolingual approach to, so psychological aspects, what did I say? That means if we see the picture of certain things, we will understand that quickly. And if we learn the language in the target language, that means we will learn the language quickly. That is the psychological involvement of learning a language. According to Frank, a language could best be taught by using it actively in the classroom. In GTM, there was teacher will be the authority and students will be the less active in the classroom. Here in direct method, activities between teachers and students and among the students, student to student activities will be there. And if 90% class activities will be done between teachers and between students and students, that would be the target of direct method. So interaction is the main focus, and interaction in which language? Rather than using analytical procedure. What is the definition of a noun? What is the definition of a verb? What is the definition of an adjectives? Okay, that is the process followed in GTM. And after understanding the analytical definition of noun, verbs, adjectives, structures like that, you are not able to apply that in the target language. In direct method, what is noun? That is not important. How to use noun in the interaction, that is important. And for this reason, 90% class activities will be done through the interaction in the target language, not memorizing the rules and regulations of verbs, noun, structure and tenses of the target language. So analytical procedure will be erased in direct method that focuses on explanation of grammar rules in classroom teachings. And teachers must encourage direct and spontaneous use of the language in the classroom. Language learning, actually when we teach vocabulary learning, how we can learn vocabulary, okay? The word of the target language, many of us, they use cue card. Cue card, you know? Cue card, they will write 5 unknown words in a card, okay? And when they will be standing in the queue in the banks or in the bank counters to pay their school fees, like that, they are standing in the queues, excuse me, they are standing in the queues and they are noticing that, yeah, this is this, this is this. That means specific. What is the way of learning language? That means he has written 5 words. Daily he will be memorizing these 5 words. Where he will be doing at the time of traveling by bus, at the time of traveling by plane or somewhere else, at the time of standing in the queues, when you will be going to get in a bus or you are going to pay your school fees. That means you are standing in the queues and at the same time you are watching the cue cards. So every day you will be learning 5 new words. And if it is so, in 1 month you will be learning 150 words, new words. This is the process. Naturally, the vocabulary building process should be followed. Direct method, no. Language, vocabulary learning, the meaning of the isolated word will not carry there. Okay, so you have to learn the usage of the target language. So whenever you will learn a new word, at the same time you will learn how to apply that new word in a sentence. And in direct word, not in a sentence, you have to apply it in introduction. Okay? That is the process of learning new words in direct method. So teachers must encourage direct and spontaneous uses of the language in the classroom. And the language learning would then be able to induce less rules of grammar. GTM, vast usage of grammatical rules. Direct method, no usage, less usage of grammar. The teacher replaced the textbook in the early stage of learning. Okay. In case of grammar translation method, we see only the textbook will be followed. Okay. In the textbook, that means English for today. Still, this book is available in the secondary and higher secondary, not higher secondary, secondary schools. Okay, English for today. What do the teachers do in the classroom? They will be reading the textbook and they will be delivering the lectures. In direct method, no, go out of the textbook. They may have a textbook, but leave the textbook at the early stage of your language learning phenomena and go out of the classroom. You will involve in introduction just to learn the target language in the target language. Speaking begin with systematic attention to pronunciation. As I have said that the differentiation between seer and cheer, so the correct pronunciation should be learned. As that means, in order to make your understanding clear, that you have to pronounce the word as quite similar to the pronunciation of the target language. How does an English person speak a word or pronounce a word? You have to pronounce that word exactly, not exactly, quite similar to the pronunciation of a native speakers. So pronunciation pattern, that means exact pronunciation pattern, is important in direct method, because introduction will be active if you can pronounce a word correctly, so that other speaker can learn or listen or can understand very clearly what you are meaning. Known words could be used to teach new vocabulary using mime, mukhabinoy, demonstration and pictures. So will be there. And this natural language learning principle provided the foundation for what came to be known as the direct method, in acronyms DM, which refers to the most widely known for the natural methods. Okay, so that would be the direct method. And having all this information of direct method, this man long master's person. His name is Maximilian Bartlich or Bartlich. Bartlich. He is a German Jewish immigrant in America. He established a school in America, and in America he started teaching language following this criteria. Which criteria? That means the criteria of direct method. But Bartlich didn't call this it is a direct method. He says that is the Bartlich method of English language teaching. But what he followed? That means he followed the every principles of direct method. And in this regards, how are the activities should be done? There are some. These are taken from the books in your books. Okay. Classroom instruction were conducted exclusively in the target language. No a single word will be used of the native first language. Only everyday vocabulary and sentences are taught. Oral communication skills were built up in a careful graded progression organized around class question and answer exchange between the teachers and students in small and intensive classes. What we do actually in the classroom, in every classroom, what we are following, that means at the very initial stage the teacher will be delivering lectures. Okay. In direct method, no. They say no. They will be asking the questions. Okay. That means as I can say that yes, how we can understand language clearly. Okay. How we can learn language very quickly. So if we ask the class, many of you will be encouraged to answer me. That is called the involvement of the class. And the very initial stage, many teachers you will see that he or she will be asking several questions, several common questions to you. That means you know the answers of these common questions. Whenever you will be answering the common questions, that means you are engaged into the class. Okay, so engagement between teachers and students is the main activities of direct methods, and of course in the target language, not in the native language. Grammar is taught inductively. Okay, not grammar is the main thing. Grammar would be less important in the new teaching points were introduced orally. Orally, that means he or she will be, the teacher will be telling some things. That means we are going to read this one, and concrete vocabulary was taught through demonstration, objects, pictures. Abstract vocabulary was taught by association of ideas. Abstract vocabulary, that means I want to teach you the meaning of jackfruit. Okay, I can easily show you the picture of the jackfruit. Okay, this is the concrete vocabulary. That means vocabulary of a new word, that is jackfruit. But if you want to show you the meaning of anger, anger is an abstract vocabulary. Anger এর কোনো ছবি আছে? এই জন্য অ্যাসোসিয়েটেড আইডিয়া দিয়ে সেটাকে বোঝাতে হবে। দ্যাট মিন্স কোনো একজন পিকচার দেখাতে হবে যে মানুষটা অত্যন্ত রাগান্বিত। সো অ্যাসোসিয়েটেড ওয়ার্ড, দিস ইজ দ্য ওয়ে অফ টিচিং ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ। বোথ স্পিচ অ্যান্ড লিসনিং কম্প্রিহেনশন ওয়ার taught. Naturally, in case of GTM, we see the reading comprehension. We read the comprehension and we try to answer some question that will follow the reading comprehension. But in direct method, you have to listen the comprehension. Okay. So you will not see the written text of the comprehension. You will listen the comprehension. In that regard, we can say that in GTM, reading and writing is important. But here, speaking and listening is important. And for this reason, it is said that language learner will be master in all 4 skills of a language. That means speaking, listening, reading and writing. And both correct pronunciation and grammar were emphasized. Correct pronunciation will be there. Okay. Never translate, demonstrate. Never explain, act. Never make a speech, ask question. Never imitate mistakes, correct. Okay. And never speak with single words, use sentences. Or we have said, that means the cue cut learning of the word. No, the learning of a word will be effective if you are able to use that word in a sentence. So not word to word, meaning word of a target language meaning to the another word of a native language. No, try to apply the sentence usage, and never speak too much. Make students speak much. Okay. Is it possible? Yeah. Many criticism will be there, but for the large class, one of the important benefits of GTM, that means teacher will be delivering lectures, a class consisting of 250 students. Okay. They will listen. But in case of direct method, so involvement will there, maximum class size will be 25 students or 20 students, so that introduction will be there. So ask question and involve the student in the class activities. Never use the book, use your lesson plan. Never jump around, follow your plan. Jump around means gradually you will be going on. So sometimes you start slow and gradually you will be going up, and not jumping from the beginning till the end. And also speak normally. Keep the pace of the students. How does a student go? You have to follow this. Whether you are delivering a lectures, if it is quite understandable by the students, then you can proceed. But don't deliver a thing that is not understandable by the students. So the pace, that means your running classes will be smooth and gradual, not jumping from one chapter to the first chapter to the last chapter, first chapter of the chapter to the middle. Okay, speak normally, speak naturally, and take it easy. Never be impatient. Okay, many of the teachers, oh, you can't do this. Okay, you are studying in masters, but you can't understand this. That means the teacher have been impassioned. So in case of direct method, no, don't be impassioned. Take it easy. That means in case of a student's life, many things will be occur, and a student will make mistakes, a student will feel shy. That is very natural. So the teacher's duty is to erase the shyness of the students. The teachers will encourage the students. Yeah, it is very natural that you will feel shy. You will feel afraid to deliver your speech coming to the days. Okay, so these are the easy techniques that teachers will be encourage the students, and not they will rebuke the students. Oh, you can't do this. Okay, not like that. Okay, so these are the process of direct methods, and there are some drawbacks of direct methods. It requires native speakers, teachers, or teachers who have native-like fluency, which might be unattainable in different language teaching environment. Actually, we see that is you have to learn exact pronunciation. I am a Bengali, I can't make the exact pronunciation like a native speaker. So in direct method, native speakers, teachers are needed. So in many countries it is not available now. That means you want to learn French language, so French speaking person, where will you get that? Okay, so this is a drawback of this method, direct method. It was largely dependent on the teacher's skill rather than on the textbook. Okay, textbook teachers, how the teacher will act, how the teacher will demonstrate a new word, that will be dependent on your learning journey. If the teacher can demonstrate a new word in a quite effective way, that word will be learned very quickly by the learner. So in direct method, teachers will play the vital role, okay, especially for pronunciation and for the smoothness of speaking or the smoothness of interaction. All teachers might not be proficient enough in foreign language to cook the principles of direct method. So these are the strict application of direct methods becomes counterproductive since teachers were required to describe avoiding native language. Okay. Teachers are no way are able to use Bangla language in the classroom. It is very strict in direct method. Okay, and this technique sometimes becomes less beneficial or might be counterproductive. হিতে বিপরীত হয়ে যেতে পারে এই approach. So that is another criticism against the direct method. And sometimes a simple and a brief explanation in the student's native language would have been a more complex to comprehend. Okay, so as I have said that in order to make the difference between cow and elephant, if you want to make the difference in target language, you have to tell how will you translate that, what is the meaning of সুর সুরটাকে যদি তুমি হাতির যেই ইয়ে থাকে সামনে যে সুর থাকে এটাকে যদি আমি টার্গেট ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজে বোঝাতে যাই একটা বাচ্চাকে যে কখনো হাতি দেখে নাই সেটা বুঝাইতে বুঝাইতে আধা ঘন্টা লাগে যাবে তারপরেও সে বুঝবে না ওকে লং নোজ দ্য লং নোজ তো হচ্ছে আরো অনেক পাখিরও থাকে ওকে so that is another criticism against direct method and these are the way that means we are but we it is also we see some advantages of direct method. This is a oral practice. Oral practice is very important in case of direct method, and the idioms, so phrase, words will be there, and direct relation between thought and expression. It helps the learners in having good fluency. So interaction is the first target, and for this reason many students will be efficient in interaction. So they can say quite good English, and sometimes the student will encourage, okay, no matter the problem, you might make mistakes, so speak and try to interact with your friends, okay, try to interact with your fellow students, okay. So if the students are encouraged, then the student will learn the language and they will be fluent in case of. And in this method the teacher proceeds from the particular to general and from concrete to abstract. So these are the advantages of direct method, and some demerits as well. Ignore systematic written work and reading activities. Okay, so GTM requires mass activities relating to reading and writing, and here direct method requires mass activities in speaking and listening. So in this regard, reading and writing is less important over there. So it is also one of the drawbacks of direct method. May not hold well in the high level classes where the translation method may be more suitable. Supporters only limited vocabulary. It restricts the scope of vocabulary as not all words can be directly associated with their meaning. So okay, we can easily show the anger, we can show how we'll show the expression of kindness. Okay, so kindness is a abstract word. Kind বুঝাবো আমি কোন ছবি দিয়ে, okay, যে হচ্ছে শীত বস্ত্র বিতরণ করছে তাকে না কোন ছবি দিব, ওকে। সো দ্য অ্যাবস্ট্রাক্ট মিনিং সবসময় যে ক্লিয়ার হবে, রাগ এবং হাসি আমি বুঝাতে পারলাম অ্যাসোসিয়েটেড মিনিং দিয়ে, বাট মেনি অ্যাবস্ট্রাক্ট ওয়ার্ড ক্যানট বি এক্সপ্লেন। politeness, how will you express the meaning, okay? So tiredness, oh you can see I am tired, okay. So some associated meaning will sometimes might be problematic to make the class understand the associated meaning of some abstract words, okay. So these are the criticism of direct methods, and that is all about direct methods, okay. So what you will do then, make a group. আপনারা যেখানে বসে আছেন সেখানে বসেই আপনারা